Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books. Today I'm here to talk about middle grade books and specifically Latine middle grade books. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you might have noticed that I do read middle grade. These are books that are meant for younger kids, so younger than young adult, and so mostly like middle school age kids and a little bit into the elementary side. I I find that these middle grade books are fantastic for adults. One, the themes that they deal with are just fantastic. They can sometimes deal with very serious themes, but in a very approachable way. I also find that they just make just fantastic storytelling, and that's part of why we read, right? It's for fantastic storytelling. So I want to talk about some of these Latina books that I have, some of the ones that are on my TBR, and then a few that I might not own physically, but I still think are very good. All right, let's get to it. So the first book on my list is Valentina Salazar is Not a Monster Hunter by Zoraida Cordova. I have really been enjoying Zoraida Cordova's writing in general. I read her one of her adult novels, some of her young adult, and she is fantastic in this particular middle grade setting. In the story, you have Valentina, who is not a monster hunter. Her family's actually a monster protector. They've realized that monsters kind of come into our world. They don't belong here, but they're lost, and that they need help getting back into their dimension. And her family has dedicated their lives to helping them get back to their dimensions. But there's been a horrible accident, and they lost her father. The family lost their father, and so now they have quit protecting monsters, and they're trying to settle down after a life of like always on the move. And it's a lot about dealing with loss, the loss of Valentina's father, but also Valentina knowing what her mission in life is. She wants to continue her father's mission despite the family not wanting to. It is just a really cute, really fantastic book that I highly recommend. Next book on my list is The Total Eclipse of Nestor Lopez by Adrianna Cuevas. And I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed this book. I listened to it in audio, so I highly recommend the audiobook. In this story, you have Nestor, who is a young boy who speaks to animals. He doesn't know why or how this happened, but he can talk to animals. His father is in the military and deployed at the moment, so this is actually a fantastic book for children who have parents who are in the military and who are always gone. Because of his dad's military work, he is always on the run, like always traveling from one place to another, never settling in. It has made for very complicated school dynamics. Now they have moved to a town in Texas where his paternal grandmother lives, and everyone's telling him, like his mom, his grandma, telling him, this is it, this is the place where they're kind of going to remain for a long while. But he doesn't believe it. He's like, that's the same thing that they've said in other occasions, and it's never been true. So he doesn't want to settle in. He doesn't want to make friends. He doesn't want to get to know the teachers, nothing, because this will all just be repeated over again. He doesn't even want to unpack. And then he finds out that there's something weird happening in the forest near where his house is. The animals are kind of telling him his grandma's behaving a little weird, and so he's got to figure out this mystery and help the animals and the humans of this small town in Texas. I really like this book. I like the friendship themes, the themes of like a parent being gone, and like trying to preserve, like trying to maintain, like pretend like everything is happy even when it's not, and a child dealing with that. I just really, really loved it. Next books I want to talk about are some of the ones that I own. First, Caribel Ortega. This is Ghost Squad, and I believe this was her first published middle grade book. This one deals with a group of kids with some mysterious things happening near a tree in their yard, and they have to deal with it. So it's a lot of ghostly stuff, so it's perfect for spooky season. spells and family and tradition. This is just a really cute, fun book. And then probably my favorite of Caribel Ortega's books is Witchlings. This is the Golden Frog Scheme, so this is the most recent one, but the first one is this one, Witchling. So I haven't read the second one. I've kind of been saving it for like a break in case of emergencies. But in Witchlings, you have a witch, young witches come into their power at a particular ceremony in which they are kind of placed into a coven. And so we follow this witchling who just doesn't want to be a spare. She has a particular coven she wants to go into, but as long as she's not a spare, she thinks she's going to be okay. So of course she gets placed in the spare coven. And so this is an exploration of what that means for her. How do you kind of accept when something happens? And then also them overtaking her two friends overtaking or kind of confronting a challenge that they have to confront in order to close their coven circle and kind of get the magic that they're supposed to get. I can't wait. I think this is going to be a trilogy. Like I said, I'm saving the Golden Frog Games for when I really need it, because these books make me so happy. Next, I have Paola Santiago and the River of Tears by Tehlor K. Mejia. Tehlor K. Mejia is another writer whose young adults novels I've really enjoyed, so that's why I picked up the middle grade one. This one deals with the myth of La Llorona. So that was really cool to see in a middle grade fashion. It was not too scary. I find the Llorona myth to be quite scary, and this one was not quite scary. And it's about a young girl making friends and fighting some monsters. What more could you ask for? The next on my list is just one of the sweetest and youngest series. Like, some of these books I would recommend more for like the middle school age kids. This one, however, I think as long as you have a reader that can handle this, I think it's perfect for all ages. So this is the Love, Sugar, Magic series. The first book is A Dash of Trouble, and in this one you have a young girl whose family has access to magic. She knows this. Well, no, she does not know this. Her family also runs a panaderia, a bakery, and she just wants to be more involved in the family stuff and the rituals of making the bread. So she starts sneaking into the panaderia and then discovers all these magical elements. And it is just so cute. It's gonna make you hungry. It is adorable and just freaking fantastic, this book. I have book number 2, A Sprinkle of Spirits, here. It's another one of my break in case of emergency books, because these, again, make me really happy. Next, I want to talk about Sal and Gabi Break the Universe by Carlos Hernandez. This is my favorite middle grade book of all time, and the year I read it, I think this is my favorite book of the year, and it still ranks at the top books I love. It is about Sal, who is attending a new school, and he turns out he can make portals into other dimensions, and he is going to use this to try to help people around him, but of course an accident, something he didn't intend, happens, and now he and Gabi have to fix things. And Gabi is a classmate who initially they're not sure if they're going to be friends, but as they work together, they find that they make for really good friends. Gabi comes from a nice big family, incredibly loving. She's smart. She knows what she needs to do, and she whereas Sal is a little bit more like, oh, what's going on? And Gabi's like, no, I have a plan. Let's do this, and that. And I just love the dynamics between the two of them. Love the family dynamics for both of them. Just really fantastic. And I do have book number 2 in the duology, Sal and Gabi Fix the Universe. Another one of those break in case of emergency. Maybe I need to get to them right away. I really do have these books that I save for when I really need that like dose of happiness, and that's one of the things that middle grade does for me so incredibly well. Okay, so now I have the books that are on my TBR. So these are books I want to get to. I own them. I will get to them. I just haven't yet. The first one is Merci Suarez Changes Gears by Meg Medina. This is an award-winning book and an award-winning writer. I just haven't gotten to it in part because it deals with Gabi's grandfather. She's dealing with a grandfather who is kind of losing his memory, and so I'm guessing something like Alzheimer's, but that hits a little bit close to home for me at the moment, and it looks really great, and I do look forward to reading it. Next, I have Omega Morales and the Legend of La Lechuza by Laekan say Kemp. I like this, looks adorable. Again, Mexican legend, and kids trying to fight off some monsters. So another perfect for spooky season book. So I might actually that's one of the ones I need to pick up this month. Next is The Insiders by Oshiro. So Oshiro is an author that I haven't read yet. I've been meaning to. So when I saw this at a bookstore when I was traveling in DC, I immediately picked it up. So this is set in San Francisco. Hector Munoz is at a new school and feeling alone. And like that's all I really needed to know. I kind of want to read this and figure out the rest as I read it. Finally, the last book on my physical TBR is Zoboi's My Life as an Ice Cream Sandwich. This book has been on my TBR forever. I love Zoboi's books or writing, and this is a sci-fi middle grade, so I'm really looking forward to it. The title is amazing, and I don't know why I have not gotten to this yet. This is one where I'm like, no, I've been meaning to read this book for a while, especially because of the sci-fi elements. I love books like Sal and Gabi, and others that deal with like a sci-fi elements in middle grade. These are the kinds of books that I would have loved as a young reader. Obviously, I had others, but I didn't have quite the same kind of availability of Latine books when I was first getting into reading. And I love that there are all these options now. These are the kinds of books that kids need access to, and why book bans have such a large negative impact on our communities. On top of it just being a handful of people in the country who are banning a majority of books, I feel like it's a huge disservice to diverse communities and all communities to not have access to these kinds of books. So that is it for me for now. If you have read any of these books, if you have recommendations of other Latine middle grade books, please leave them down in the comments section, or just middle grade books in general. I read quite a few others that don't fit into the Latine category, but thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.